In 1999 and 2000, I was invited by Germany's top counter-terrorist team, Grenzschutzgruppe 9, known throughout the world as GSG9, to train the top instructors from each of their combat teams, a privilege that few foreigner instructors have ever received. It all started when a GSG9 Master Sergeant attended my police knife survival course in Los Angeles. I was teaching a course for the American Society of Law Enforcement Trainers. This Master Sergeant, who was an expert in the martial arts, was so impressed with my training methods that he asked me if I was willing to teach his unit in Germany. 2 months later, I was on a passenger plane bound for Frankfurt, and then when I hit the ground, I was on a train to the city of Bonn. It was my first trip to Germany. I was picked up by another sergeant who took me on my first ride on the famous Autobahn. 20 minutes later, we drove onto a German border police base at St. Augustine, and then to the GSG9 headquarters, which is deep in the interior of the base. Right from the very start, I was treated like one of their very own and got my own room in the dorm where I stayed for a few days.
This is the room that GSG9 gave me. As you can see, I got my own bachelor pad, got my military bed and the bedding here, my blanket, my one military, GSG9 issued blanket, desk, chair. What more could you ask for? Even my own little sink.
GSG9 wanted me to teach lots of hand-to-hand combat training. One of the things I taught them was my original helmet defense techniques. First running through it empty-hand, and then later on with cleared MP5 submachine guns. The second request of me was to teach American SWAT techniques. GSG9 had a multi-million-dollar shoot house that I taught in, which has an awesome control tower with windows that look down on the action, stairwells, and ballistic targets of all shapes and sizes. I ran my students through numerous live-fire techniques and scenarios.
Okay.
Even though I was getting paid to teach them, the officers of GSG9 asked me if there was anything I wanted from them. That was easy. I asked if they could teach me German building entry tactics, and then they gave me a full education after I completed my workday. Part of the training that I received was familiarization on various Heckler & Koch weapon systems like the G3 and G36 assault rifles and the MP5 submachine gun, which was a very popular weapon in its day.
Go! Elbow pointed out, left elbow underneath the weapon. Your cheek right in the middle of the extending stock, nose close to the strap, and look down the back sight, look down the front sight. Tuck the elbow, right elbow out. And the reason for that is so you firmly put it in place, but if you're stressed or strong enough, it might slip out if you have the elbow tucked. So, elbow straight out, and so like so. This is the German way of holding the weapon. And then of course fire.
At the end of my stay, GSG9 Commander Eichala presented me with a certificate from the unit to express their thanks to me for teaching techniques and training methods that they would incorporate into their program. I guess I had made a good impression because I was invited back the following year. In 2000, they were very specific in what they wanted me to teach them, and that was aircraft interdiction, especially unarmed combative subjects. This was several months before Al-Qaeda attacked America on September 11, 2001, and there was no German air marshal program at the time. However, a few of my students would eventually go on to form the German air marshal program after 9/11. After a few days of instructing, my host again asked me if there was anything I wanted in return. I responded eagerly, Yeah, I'd like to get behind the Heckler & Koch PSG-1 sniper rifle to give it a try and also to learn your sniper tactics to compare it with ours. They obliged me, and that evening I was behind the famous PSG-1 throwing lead downrange. For me, this training was a direct connection to sniper history. When I was learning sniper craft with the 1st Marine Division Scout Sniper School at Camp Pendleton throughout the 1990s, my instructors told me that the American military sniper programs were modeled after the German sniper program of World War II. Therefore, when my German instructors were teaching me their techniques in St. Augustine, it was all very familiar to me. Of course, I did leave Germany with a few new techniques and tactics as well. In 2010, the current GSG9 commander wrote me and gave me permission to represent GSG9 on a television program in the United States. This was a great honor that he trusted me like that. I've been on the inside of Grenzschutzgruppe 9, and I have nothing but the deepest respect for the unit and everyone I worked with there during my 2 visits. They are truly one of the world's elite special operations teams, and I am proud that I am also a part of the GSG9 history.
Okay, this is Jim Wagner here with along with Border Patrol, German Border Patrol, and GSG9. Yeah!